Hey guys, thanks for making me co-host. If we will have too many co-hosts, you can put me back to speaker or listener. I think it's more important that Alejandra will be co-host, but if there's enough room, happy to stay.
Okay, no problem.
Seems she's having some technical problems.
No worries. Our head of
Yeah.
communications might also join in the meantime if she's awake. So it's all good.
Okay, cool. So how are you recently?
I'm doing good, pretty good. We have lots of announcements, engagements, and more in the pipeline. So we are in a busy timeline for the heads, and we love the journey so far. How has it been going for you?
Yeah, cool. I mean, we are all doing great as well. We are just going to launch our products very soon, and yeah, we probably have some great updates in the coming weeks. Yeah, so far so good.
Nice. It has been some time since I last spoke to Eric. Do you have any update from him?
Yes, he's doing great as well.
Nice. Glad to hear that.
Okay. So it's almost 10. So why don't we start now? So welcome everyone to join our AMA session with Heads Finance. Today our topic is about on-chain security and understanding crypto exploit and protecting your assets. So can we invite Heads Finance to introduce yourself first?
Yep, sure. In the meantime, maybe our head of communications will wake up and join. Hopefully, let me give you a brief intro. So, Heads Finance started in, the idea was initiated in DeFi summer. There were lots of hacks and exploits going on, and Shai, who is our CTO, who was writing uh, Ethereum 2.0 client site back then, came up with the idea that why the security researchers are not submitting the vulnerabilities they find. If all security researchers are hunting for the bugs and submitting them, disclosing them responsibly, then the ratio of hacks would diminish. And this is very important because this is needed for the mass adoption of crypto among common people. Otherwise, people will join crypto, they'll get hacked or exploited or rug pulled, community pulled, so on and so forth, and then they'll just live with bad stories to tell to the other people. And so the idea was there were lots of interviews conducted with security researchers, and the main problem was security researchers were finding bugs, submitting them to the teams, and then teams were either ghosting them or paying them peanuts like $50, $100, so on and so forth. So it was very unfavorable for security researchers to spend their time finding the bugs and then disclosing them and then getting nothing, you know. So the idea was to put the bounties on chain to create a layer of trust between the teams and security researchers. The teams are putting the money that they are promising to give to the security researchers on chain, so everything is transparent, and this would encourage the security researchers more to do the right thing. And since then, we have deployed more products to support our idea to support the security of DeFi space. The second product that we recently soft launched was a crowd audit competition, which we think is the best in the space after a centralized audit, because you are doing a centralized audit, you are paying them sometimes lots of money, and then you are launching and you are getting wrecked, which is very bad. Your code is getting wrecked. So we have created the crowd audit competition on Heads, and it's 100% results pay. So if no vulnerabilities are found, the teams are not paying anything. It's for free. If only low vulnerabilities are found, it's only the amount locked for low vulnerability is paid. It's like no-brainer for the teams to do that because, if somebody finds a vulnerability before your launch, it's good because you launch without that vulnerability and you're happy to pay to the security researcher. And if nothing is found, you don't pay nothing, and you will launch with a more awareness regarding security, with a more self-esteem of security, because like 600 more security researchers checked your contract and they didn't find nothing. This is awesome for the teams. And thirdly, we have announced our skin in the game auditing. In this mechanism, there are currently 4 centralized auditing firms which accept to deposit a portion of their service fee to the project's bug bounty for a period of time to share the risk of their audit with the project, with the team. Because you audit the project and then they launch, somebody finds a vulnerability, you should also share the responsibility with the project because basically you didn't do a good job, right? And fourthly, we have collaborated with Iron Locks to offer the projects with bug bounty vaults of the value of 30K or more freemium on-chain threat detection and prevention services. And this is the fourth product we are providing to our partners. Sorry for a bit long intro, and this is basically the products from Head side.
Got it. No problem. Thank you. Thank you so much for your detailed introduction of your products. But from our side, we have Matthew here. So maybe can you introduce yourself first?
Yeah. So hi everyone, I'm Matthew, representing Vaultka. So for myself, I love investing, and I have been working for certain hedge funds for crypto portfolio management. And I'm a DeFi guy, enjoy playing around with different protocols and exploring new finance opportunities. And I really like the pace in the crypto world. In Vaultka, I'm mainly involved in strategy planning and execution. Yeah, and maybe I can introduce a bit about Vaultka to our audience first as well. So for Vaultka, we positioned ourselves as a catalyst of decentralized perpetual exchange on Arbitrum. So perpetual exchanges allow traders to speculate on the price of an asset without actually holding the asset. It is a very popular way of trading in the crypto world and has become increasingly popular in recent years. Vaultka provides one-click strategies for the LP tokens, making it easier for users to manage their LP tokens and boost their reward, etc. And currently, there are 2 types of strategies that Vaultka are offering. The first one is the market neutral strategy, and the second one is the leverage strategies. So what it means in the market neutral strategy is that it allows traders to take a neutral position in the market, meaning that they are not betting on the price of an asset going up or down, while the leverage strategy allows traders to amplify their gains by using leverage. And we have already deployed our 3x3LP leverage strategy on Arbitrum testnet. And for anyone who is interested, feel free to go and have a try. Yeah, so that's a brief introduction of myself and Vaultka.
Thank you so much. So I think we both agree that on-chain security to protect our assets is very important. So that's why we have our discussion today. Maybe to give a brief introduction of our topic, like for myself, I believe crypto hacks are scary. No matter to individuals, communities, and also projects, hackers can exploit the security infrastructure of crypto platforms, compromising user account or directly steal funds from the protocol. To give you some statistic, the statistic is from Chain Analysis. 2012 was the biggest year in crypto hacking, with the estimation of 3.8 billion stolen, primarily from DeFi protocols and North Korea-linked hackers. The security of crypto or the project has become the spotlight. So the damage could be huge when including financial loss for individual and also business, as well as damaging the reputation and trust within crypto community. I believe it's crucial for all of us in Web3 to adopt security measures to protect our asset. So that's why today we invite our guest Has Finance to talk about on-chain security and their ideas on how to avoid hackers to exploit our asset. So now I will pass the mic to Matthew to let you guys discuss about it.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for that. So I guess our audience have a basic understanding on our today on today's topic, and I think we have also have a brief understanding on what Has Finance is, and I believe it is a really good protocol under the current market condition, because we can see there's a lot of has happening in different protocols. So that's why I think the crypto audit is really important in the DeFi world. So really get that Has Finance is keep contributing the security in the crypto space. So I think to look in the details of Has Finance, maybe can you guys share more a bit about the bug bounty marketplace model that you guys are having, and how it incentivizes security researchers to find any vulnerabilities?
Oh, yes, sure. So, firstly, I want to highlight that, we were here back in 2017 talking about decentralization, and the common thing that we are still talking about is mass adoption, right? Mass adoption of crypto by ordinary people, by common people, so on and so forth. The one of the barriers to that is security. Why are people not keeping all their money at their homes, but they're keeping them at the banks? Because they trust that the banks will secure their money satisfactorily. So they're not gonna care about whether somebody stole their money or something happened to the money, so on and so forth. So everybody trusts the banks that they'll do a good job by protecting their money. But when it comes to crypto, most of the money is on chain, on smart contracts, right? So the money, I'm not trusting my money with Vaultka, but I'm trusting my money with the smart contracts of Vaultka, and assuming that it would do a good job and not lose any of my money. Therefore, it's like top priority, the security. It should come before everything else. And we are trying our best to enable all participants, including teams, DAO members, investors, auditors, to help contribute to the security of the DeFi space. Because, as I already said, if it's not secure enough, somebody will steal it, and then common people will leave crypto with bad stories, telling to their friends, families, and saying that I bought this and then somebody hacked it. My investment dropped drastically. This is a big problem. I don't trust it. I'm not gonna use crypto anymore, so on and so forth. But if each project, each team, each security researcher does its part in helping secure the DeFi space, I think it will open the gates to the mass adoption, and we can then talk about the financial revolution that Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto is trying to achieve. And on Head's part, one of the good things that we are doing is that, especially the new projects, the projects just bootstrapping, maybe with their own money, they have a problem with USDT. They don't have a vast treasury of USDC or USDT. And as heads, we enable projects to use their native token to fund the bug bounty vault. And most of the new projects are reached with their own token. So they, in one sense, contribute to a bug bounty, which will help them to be more safe and secure. At the same time, utilize their idle tokens in a vault which is specialized for security. And they already have like more of these tokens than their USDC or USDT. So it already makes sense for them. And then this opens the door for community members, investors to deposit to these bug bounties as well. That's one of the most important things regarding heads, right? Enabling investors and community members to help the bug bounty vault increase the amount at the bug bounty vault, and in a way incentivize more security researchers to check their contracts to see if all is good, or if there's a vulnerability, disclose it responsibly. So far, we believe that we have done an awesome job in these efforts. For example, we recently did a crowd audit competition for Raft Finance, and Raft Finance paid lots of money to audit their products, and then they did a crowd audit competition on Heads Finance. Surprisingly, 3 critical vulnerabilities were found and submitted during the contest. Imagine that Raft Finance didn't do this crowd audit competition before they launched. They would launch with 3 critical vulnerabilities, which would make the protocol code vulnerable to being hacked, to draining funds, so on and so forth. People putting their money to this project would receive enormous harm by doing that, and then they would have more bad stories to tell their friends and families and their inner circle, so on and so forth. So far, Heads is doing a great job to contribute to the security of the overall space. We include every stakeholder in the process. Everybody can come deposit a portion of their token to increase the bounty at the vault, because we are open to everybody. We are non-custodial, we are permissionless, we are transparent, we are trustless, so on and so forth. Yeah, we feel very proud of helping the security of overall DeFi space, and we are really glad to be working with Vaultka in this sense. Putting the stamp of security on the Vaultka docs or white paper or contracts or codes, and if there are some vulnerabilities, you already have lots of security researchers who might be interested in hunting bugs at the Vaultka contracts. So providing this infrastructure is making us feel very proud and awesome. And I just want to be sure if Alejandra is still here. If Ale, you are here, do you have anything else to add?
Yes, I'm here. No, I'm you're explaining things really great. That's why I haven't been able to jump in. You've been awesome. I don't have anything to add on that question. But I'm listening. So if there's anything I can add, I will.
Cool. I think it is really a smart move for Hash Finance to adopting the native token of the protocol, because I believe that when the white hat hackers find the bugs on certain code base, and they can really contribute to the project when they found the bugs. So actually, I believe that for the projects that is much more safer, the value of their token will have appreciation as well. So in this case, I believe it is a win-win situation for both parties to participating in this bounty program. So I think it is really a smart move of from Hash Finance. And I think the decentralization of auditing is also really a very important concept, because as we allowed everybody to participate on this program, and it is permissionless, we can ensure that there will be more and more people able to join, which further secure the security of the code base, which further enhance the safety of that project. So yeah, so I really appreciate this concept. And in terms of the quality and reliability of the bug reports received from anyone's, how does Test Finance ensure that the quality of it is good?
You mean the quality of the audit or the bug bounty?
Yeah, because it's permissionless, right?
Yeah, so we have a large network of security researchers that have done amazing. Just in a few days, we are going to release a write up from our recent audit competition. And just to give you some insights, there was one security researcher that found a high vulnerability when that project had been audited by one of the major um, big, like with a lot of credibility audit firms. So all of the security researchers that are in the network are top notch, and they're always checking for vulnerabilities. What else would you like to add, Servet? I know you probably know a lot on this.
The feature Heads is presenting to eliminate bad vulnerability reports is the inherent spam protection. So unlike Web2 companies, each security researcher who wants to submit a vulnerability has to pay a fee. And as most of you are aware of the skyrocketing fees recently, it costs between $10 to $100 to sign a transaction to submit a vulnerability. And it doesn't make sense for the security researcher to pay always like $40, $50 to submit a vulnerability. So they have to make sure that the report is good and worth a bounty. If not, they'll just lose their money with paying the fees, right? So far, our partners are not really complaining about getting spam vulnerability reports or out of scope vulnerability reports or UI related vulnerability reports, because each time a security researcher wants to submit a vulnerability, they have to pay a fee, and it doesn't make sense for them to always spend money and get nothing. This is inherently providing the quality of the vulnerability reports so far, and our partners are really happy about it.
Cool. Got it. So, I mean, I believe you guys have a lot of experience in and seeing different um, smart contract bug reports. Can you guys share a little bit on what are some common types of smart contract bugs that are typically identified through the bug bounty programs?
So the most common bugs are found when a project forks another project on a different chain. So they just trying to comfort the code with the new chain, the rules of new chain, but at the same time they are missing some points that might create critical vulnerabilities to the protocols. So especially the bridges are black holes of the crypto, which are most frequently hacked and exploited because it's really not very easy to move something cross chain and do things at another cross chain with the ease of underlying native chain. So most of the time when there are forks, we pay special attention to the project, or when there are breach, which inherently includes lots of integrations and price oracles, locks, and donate functions, so on and so forth. So mostly when there are forks or bridges, at utmost attention should be paid to the audit.
Yeah, I mean, bridges are definitely one of the most dangerous protocols that we need to care of, because there are so many hacks and exploits on certain bridge protocols, and every time there's a hack or exploit on bridges, the amount is really really big. So it is sometimes threaten myself. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, definitely. And when the trust to a bridge or a protocol is high, the amount of money put into that project smart contract is high, which results in a big amount of hack when there is a vulnerability. So especially, we always encourage projects to put more to a bug bounty at their initial stages, because it is good that a vulnerability is found when the TVL is low, right? But let's take the incident of Euler into consideration. The amount hacked from Euler was $200 million. So the bug bounty they were offering was $1 million. If this vulnerability was discovered at early stages of the Euler's operations, you know that they would have a less TVL and their bounty would be more incentivizing. But with the case of Euler, so the hacker hacked an amount close to $200 million, and then they accepted the hacking bounty, which was $20 million. So they are in profit of close to $19 million in the process. But if they disclosed the vulnerability, they would just get like $1 million or something. They hacked and then returned the funds and earned $20 million. So it's very important for the projects to put a satisfactory bounty to incentivize security researchers to find the vulnerabilities at the early stages, because when the TVL is very high, as in the case of well-trusted projects or breaches, the bounty might not really be that much satisfactory for the security researchers, and they might think that, if I disclose this responsibly, the bounty I will get is $1 million. But if I hack it and then return the funds, I'll get $20 million. There is a huge amount of difference between $1 million and $20 million, right? So we generally recommend the projects to put a satisfactory bounty when they are at early stage, when their TVL is not huge, when they can incentivize security researchers to check their contracts, even if the TVL is not high, so they can put a satisfactory bounty. But when the TVL is really high, the amount at risk is really high, it's really difficult to coordinate white hatting in the bug bounty vault.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point. I agree that the bug bounty should like increase with the TVL. So when the projects get like bigger and bigger, the amount that for each project has to be like put in the bug bounty or for the security has to be larger and larger over time if their protocol becomes bigger and bigger. Yeah, so I think that's a really good point that it may be better for all the protocols to like invest more on protecting their security in the early stage. Yeah, so um, what are some emerging trends or challenges in the on-chain security that you guys foresee in the near future?
One of the problems is that the biggest problem is the bear market. So in the bear market, in a bull market, most of the projects has big treasuries to invest more to the security. But with the bear market, most of the projects suffer from a decrease in the USD value of their treasury. So the amount that they are willing to allocate to security decreases in time in the bear market, which is creating the number one problem in on-chain security. And we are all talking about incentivizing the security researchers to do the right thing, but in the bear market, some projects do not really care much about security, and hopefully they'll not get hacked or exploited, but this is, if there's no bug bounty, the security researcher doesn't have anything to do other than punishing the project, right? I found a vulnerability at your code. You don't have a bug bounty. You don't offer me something to act responsibly, to disclose it to you. This is a big problem, especially in the on-chain security space. Secondly, when there is a hack, most of the teams paying attention to the security, talking about security, but once a bit time passes, the interest in security fades away with the markets getting normal, with the people getting back to normal. And we envision a future that we will have more resources to educate ordinary crypto people regarding security. To give you an example, when we started in 2017, you know, nobody was reading white papers. Nobody was paying attention to the audits. But with the 2021 bull market, we have seen that ordinary crypto people, ordinary DAO members were asking about how many audits the project go through, if they have a bug bounty. So what is their security approach, what they are doing for the security, and the awareness of security among ordinary crypto people increasing will push projects to care more about the security. But in the bear market, most of the ordinary crypto people are complaining about the prices and they are not really pushing the projects to care much about the security. But we hope that this sentiment will change in the next bull cycle when there are more people with the awareness of security in the crypto space, in Discord discussions, in DAO discussions, and when the projects have a bigger treasury to invest more into the security. These are basically my observations.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. And I believe the next bull cycle will be much better, as I can feel like the awareness of the security issue from the public is actually increasing. So I can feel like more people and more people are talking about security. More people questioning about, is this protocol audited, which is some questions that we may not even heard about maybe in 4 or 5 years before. So I think it is a good trend as the market is feeling more important for the security issue. But yeah, I agree that we still need to educate the public on how important it is of the security, because I think the market always forgot about the importance of security. They only remember it when some protocols are being hacked or being exploited. That's the point that the whole market are discussing about it. But as it over time, the market will forget about it and back to the normal and ignore the security issue. But I believe that in the coming future, this trend will become more good, so that the public will more. The public will consider security issue as a higher priority issues. Yeah. So yeah, can you share more a bit about what future developments can we expect from hash finance to further strengthen on-chain security in the DeFi space?
Yes, sure. So the most imminent sprint that we are expecting is easing the on-chain submission, is facilitating the on-chain submission, make it more easier and convenient for the security researchers, because with the crowd audit competitions recently, we have got some feedback from the security researchers that it's not really an easy process to submit the vulnerabilities. With the new sprint, will probably be a new UI which eliminates the hard work to the maximum extent, and we will ease the process of submitting. And secondly, this is very important for me, we are working on an integration with Claros Code. For those who don't know, Claros Court is Claros is a project which is excelled in arbitration and resolving conflicts between parties in a decentralized way. So we will integrate Claros Court, which will see the cases when security researchers think that the team does not behave them fairly, they are downgrading his payment or his severity, so on and so forth, and they can escalate the case to the Claros court, and a specialized team of security researchers will see the case, will see the evidences from both the security researcher and the team, and in, decide the bounty themselves. This might result in increasing the bounty or decreasing the bounty. Of course, the court can say, the team was very generous to you with this bounty. We don't think that this bounty should be this much high, so we will lower the bounty, which might result in the loss of security researcher. But there are two sides to the blade, and we will be very happy to let a third party to get involved in the conflict resolution between the teams and security researchers. From a game theory perspective, once a security researcher submits the vulnerability or the information regarding the vulnerability, he doesn't really have a much leverage power because he already submitted all the information. So sometimes security researchers might be afraid of the teams downgrading their payments, not paying them the desired amount or the required amount. But having a third party, which is a decentralized court, will, from a game theory perspective, eliminate all the fears or risks from the security researchers. And thirdly, very soon we will enable projects to be able to deposit multiple assets to the same vault. For example, the bug bounty vault for Vaultka is currently in USDC, but Vaultka might choose to put Ethereum or any other or staked Ethereum, USDC, USDT, Vaultka token, or any token that Vaultka is making a profit with. So projects will be able to deposit more assets to the bug bounty vault. We call it multiple assets per vault with this integration, because some projects are planning to or wanting to put both their own token and USDC or USDT or Ethereum to the vault, like 50%, 50%, or 25% multiply for. So these three features are making us feel more hopeful regarding the next version of HET's both UI and both version.
Yeah, it's good. I think for accepting multiple tokens is really good for protocols joining the bug bounty. We would definitely put more and more different kind of tokens once this feature is ready. And I think it's also quite good for protocols if they want to choose 50% of USDC and 50% on their native token. So in this way, it somehow balance the incentive to the security researchers. I think this is a really good move, and looking forward to it. Is there any advice would you give to new DeFi projects looking to establish security measures from the start?
Yes. So the most recent good security practices that we are advising to the projects which are starting up now is to, firstly, they should, from our perspective, hire a private auditor to check their contracts, or they can do internal reviewing of their contracts. But this is very important, because when you go to a centralized auditing firms with a fresh new code with lots of vulnerabilities, so on and so forth, they might miss some really important issues. So it's very important to, and it's not really expensive. A project with 4,000 line codes can get a private auditing from an individual for and budget between like $5,000 to $15,000. So it's very important to get a private auditing with which is not really costly. Secondly, it's really important to get a centralized audit because there are 2 or 3 people who are focused only on your contracts for a period of time with a professional background. They have a standard eye to check the contract, to see the vulnerabilities, and then to submit them to you. And thirdly, the crowd audit competition on HEADS protocol. This is very important and this is no brainer because if no vulnerabilities are found, you don't make any payment, right? This is so no brainer. If only low vulnerabilities are found, you only pay the amount locked for low vulnerability. You can withdraw the amount locked for medium and high, or you can let that amount run as an ongoing bug bounty. So we would advise the projects launching, the new DeFi projects expecting to launch, to do first an internal reviewing or an auditing with a private auditor. Secondly, an audit with a centralized firm. And thirdly, a crowd audit competition. By doing these 3, I think most of the teams will be, much more relaxed about their code and get rid of the fear of getting hacked or exploited at early stages.
Cool. Really good advices. So I think that's pretty much for today. So thanks, Has Finance, for coming. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to discuss or share with us?
One thing I would like to add is that we do have upcoming audit competitions and other initiatives happening in HATS Finance. So I encourage everybody to, if you're not following us on Twitter, make sure to do so. We have some exciting audit competitions coming in. So if you want to participate, you can. And even if you're in the community side, you can check our DApp and contribute to Vaultka protection by adding liquidity into their own vault. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, cool. So for those who may not know, Vaultka has partnered with Has Finance with a bug bounty program. So as we always put security as our first priority, and I think it is always the most important part in the DeFi world. So for people who are interested in joining the bug bounty program, feel free to visit Has Finance official website. And we are glad to have Has Finance keep building on this space. And we are really happy to partner with you guys to enhance our security. Yeah, so once again, thanks everybody being here. We really appreciate it. We will doing more AMAs in the future regularly, so we hope to see you guys. Thank you so much, and speak soon.
Thank you for having us today, guys. We are also planning to host a Twitter space with 3 more projects, and we will really appreciate if you decide to come up and do it with us with 2 or 3 other projects security minded. So this is an early invitation as well. Looking forward to reconnecting again.
Yeah, definitely. We're interested, John.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, you guys as well. Have a good day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.